Andrew, better effort today, obviously not the result you wanted. How do you assess the whole game as a whole, though?
Yeah, it was clearly much improved performance. Really disappointing not to get the win. I thought we put ourselves in a really winnable position for leading the game for really majority of the game, and even being able to dominate the last quarter. But we just weren't able to score throughout that last quarter. So, in the metrics we looked after, there was a fair bit of green in today's game. But ultimately, the one we really want to be in the green is the scoreboard at the end of the game, and we didn't quite get that.
Third game in 13 days. Did you just... I know you dominated the last quarter, like you said, but did you sort of run out of steam a bit?
It didn't seem like that to me. I actually thought we were still running quite well in the last quarter. Obviously, we made quite a few changes over that three-game period, so there was some... Not everybody played all three games, so I thought we ran the game out okay.
One of those metrics was contested ball, particularly from last week. You must have been impressed with the way they came back this week.
Yeah, it was certainly a step in the right direction in that space. To be able to win contested ball, we spent some time training it, but not that much. Like, it is a mindset a lot of the time. We just had a little bit better intent this week. We were a bit more proactive rather than reactive, which I think everyone saw in last week's game. So, to be able to bounce back in that space, it'll put us in a good position to be able to compete every week.
What things were you noticing, I guess, early in the game that told you that the team was on in that area and with their pressure as well?
Yeah, look, for us, we spent most of the week on our defence. So I think that everybody watching the game, compared to last week's, will acknowledge we defended much better. I thought there were still times where Essendon, they're pretty slick with their ball movement. They were able to break through, but ultimately I thought a lot of the time they really generated was through a free kick, was when they started to generate their territory. There was a free kick paid, and at times that challenged us when they got the ball in a slow play. But I thought when the ball was live, we defended quite well.
Elijah Hewitt had 12 contested possessions, career high 22 and 2 goals. He sort of led from the front in that second half in that midfield. You must be happy with his performance.
Yeah, it's a great call, and I thought he was reasonably quiet in the first half. He hasn't played much football even this year, Elijah. But for a young, I think he's maybe 19 or 20, Elijah's about to really dominate the game in the second half. Had almost all of those 12 contested possessions in the second half. Provided some inspiration for his teammates around him. I thought it was a great step forward for him, and the more he plays, the more he'll build, and we're really excited for his future.
I know you didn't get the win, but little wins like that really handy as well. Like, we've seen Tom Gross come through, Hewitt finally get a good run at it, I suppose, in a game. Those sort of little things that are coming through that you're starting to see. Yeah,
maybe one of the things that we take out is some of our players got some form as well today. We certainly have had some challenges with form, but much more connected today, and some individuals getting better at their footy, which is good.
The clearance numbers, there's a big disparity there. What can you do to kind of even those up as much as you can?
Yeah, it is a big challenge in our game at the moment. And although we sort of look at it through a few different phases, not just the one phase of clearance, when it's that big a gap, there's a problem we need to get to work on. So there's a few things involved in it. There's structure, there's some technique, there's some method, and there's some personnel stuff that we'll keep exploring, but it just makes the game a little bit harder when you're on the back foot and having to attack from behind the whole game. So we need to get that up closer to a positive result.
Is that something that can be fixed within a season, or is that more of a personnel thing where over time maybe Yo comes back and then next season you might get a few other players?
I think it can definitely be fixed within the next period of time this year. Yoey helps. He's probably he's a pretty special player, Yoey, but he'll be a little while away, so we need to keep improving who we've got. And I think it's really important that it's not just about the clearance number. There's certain clearances which are more important than others, and the way you set up away from it is important as well. But at the moment, the gap's too big for us.
And the ruck situation, what did you make of Flynn tonight?
Yeah, I thought Flinny competed hard. I don't think that was the difference in the game at all in the clearance numbers.
How did you view Tim Kelly's performance coming back into the team?
Yeah, so Tim copped another heavy tag today. It's challenging for Tim. He's had 3 tags 3 weeks in a row now, AFL, Waffle, AFL. But I thought he worked his way through it really well. He competed hard. He gave us a few different looks with the way we were able to manipulate some stuff. I thought it was a step in the right direction for Tim.
Can you talk us through the decision to recall him? he didn't, set it alight in the waffle last week, but was there something in particular you wanted to see from him last week that earned the recall, or was it just more of a statement made?
No, it definitely wasn't about a statement being made. It was about, I think it's really important, like all of our players, I think you've seen by now, we're not a super high possession team. So when you say he didn't have huge numbers, he had 20 in the waffle last week, but that wasn't what was going to get him back in the team. So I'm probably not going to divulge everything here about what we spoke to Tim about, but he's really clear about what we require from him in his role in our team. And I thought he made an improvement in that area today.
I think you said during the week that you were a bit too young in the midfield last weekend against Carlton. I think you had Graham and Kelly just about every centre bounce today, one of them. Was that to rectify that, obviously?
Look, a little bit. I think I mentioned that we may have been too young in the one area last week, which, maybe or maybe not. But Tim and Jack have played a fair bit of centre bounce in their time. Harley played a little bit more centre bounce today. Elijah comes into that mix. We're just going to keep exploring our team and see who can complement each other the best.
Can you explain to us the decision to rest Oscar Allen during the week? Obviously, he's 26 and it's only 5 games into the season. Was he just banged up, or was it a confidence thing? What was the decision behind that?
No, look, 3 days in 13 games. It's 3 games in 13 days. It's every team in the competition will have players that can't play all those 3 games. It is a challenge. So Oscar we made a decision for the longevity of the season, and that he has a rest this week and he'll be fine next week.
Was there any thinking too, though, that the fact that this is the first game back since the whole Sam Mitchell thing and a big crowd, big attention, was there any just maybe also looking after him a little bit?
No, there was none of that.
How's his knee been holding up so far this season?
It's all good. Yeah, he's doing well. His GPS numbers are good and he's going well.
During the week on the track, is he able to do full sessions, or where is he at physically in that sense?
Yeah, I don't think Oscar's missed a session at all through knee soreness this year. So I think he's really had a strong program. He's had a great medical team around him. They're doing a terrific job. And he's completed every session that he's had to this year.
How hard was it to hold him back in this match? Obviously Friday night, home crowd.
Yeah, well, we don't get many Friday night games, so that wasn't easy. But we just got the wide lens on it, and I think it was a smart decision by us all.
What was his role today? I think he won the Clubman in 2022 for his work on the bench when he was injured. What was his role today around the group?
Yeah, you can't really have a player on the bench just week by week. It has to be a long-term thing to go through the AFL, so it's not really something we could look at this week.
Do you think he'll be available next week?
Yeah, Oscar will play next week.
How do you go about that week, considering it's against Hawthorn and given all the eyes that will be on that situation?
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that. It's a good question. Look, we'll just manage it as a normal week. Understand the situation, but Oscar's a leader of our footy club and we'll support him, and I'm sure he'll actually be pretty excited to play next week.
I think it's his 100th game as well.
Great, it's exciting. Awesome.
Do you feel like your lack of tight game awareness sort of cost you in the end there? There was the Liam Ryan moment so late where he plays on, and I feel like everybody was sort of hands in the hammer. Do you feel like that's just an experience thing that you haven't been in those situations before, so it just kind of unravelled a bit for you?
Yeah, look, maybe. Liam's been in those situations over his career, though. Like, he's played in a lot of winning games for this football club over the years. So, but there was a couple of things late. Maybe we could have done better, but there was also a couple of smart decisions we made late, which probably helped us get in scoring positions as well. So I'd rather be making mistakes in close game than not being in close games.
I think you said at half time that senior players had a meeting during the week to speak. Was that initiated by them, you guys? What was sort of the outcome of that?
Yeah, we meet every week as leaders and senior players of our football club, and they just took a bit more ownership of their role within our club at the moment. Like, we've got 22 players under 22, so we just spoke about their role within it and helping support them and improving their own football as well.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adam.